This is going to be Pit of Saron as a Mistweaver Monk. A dungeon I've actually done a fair number of times recently because it's in the Wrath of the Lich King time-walking rotation, and that event just happened not long ago. But we're on normal here. I'm actually at level 80, not just scaled back by Chromie or whoever. Let's see. This is not the same group as last time. This is a fresh new one. I remember I did these dungeons a little out of order. I think this did happen after the Forge of Souls. But well, we'll get there when we get there.
Intruders have entered the master's domain.
Yeah, this did happen after Forge of Souls because I had the quest chain to come here and chain onto this.
Not even fit to labor in a quarry. Relish these final moments.
It's kind of a lot of talking here.
Soon you will be nothing more than mindless undead.
Soldiers of the Horde, attack!
So there's a whole Horde army coming with us right now, and there they go. They're all gone. Except Sylvanas, she survived somehow, of course. Wow, and she has such a high opinion of the army she came here with. So Sylvanas is like a supervillain these days, by the way. She was never all that great, but like, she is like actively our enemy these days.
We will most certainly need their assistance in battling Tyrannus. I will gather reinforcements and join you on the other side of the quarry.
For this dungeon, at least, she's pretending to be our friend. Somebody put a star on me. I saw that paladin turn around and look at me when it happened, so I suspect it was him. This isn't the route I see people usually going through here. You can go like up on the ridge to the right and skip a little bit more of this, I think. And that's what people seem to like to do. This just seems like kind of a big, wide open outdoor area. It's a little, I don't know. It's not a linear hallway. And the like actual route here, when an area is this open, with no super clear paths through it, I don't know, it just feels weird to navigate a place like this. Nothing too serious healing-wise yet. That will change. Right, so quest something something, free Horde slaves. There'll be Alliance slaves if you're playing on the Alliance, of course. Oh, 15 of them? That's kind of a whole bunch. It's not, though, because there are plenty around. And I think you actually lose your ability to free them once you get to 15. I think. This might be one of those. So yeah, any more than 15 slaves, they just don't get any help from us.
Greetings, man.
This troll's pretty chill for being the slave. Alright, 2 Wrathbone Laborers at once. I don't think that's a big deal. But I did switch from attacking to healing, and man, I am playing this real careful. A lot of letting Soothing Mist finish, which I basically never do anymore. I mean, it's fine. It's a nice, efficient healing spell. Why was I inspecting you? Must have had a reason. By the way, Balance Druid, Protection Paladin, some kind of hunter, and what is that, a warrior? With that empty resource bar there. Shouldn't I have seen at least some rage if that's a warrior? Whoops, I walked too close to a dude. It's fine, we were going there anyway. Yeah, okay, that is a warrior. Why is he not generating any rage? What is this warrior doing? Is he just sitting there and auto-attacking? Oh. Yeah, look at Pintodem here. This is not how you play the game. Especially not in a dungeon like this. Huh. Okay. So not a lot of contribution from this particular warrior, it seems. Looks like an arms warrior. I wasn't seeing two weapons. Don't think it'll be a problem. There aren't any, like, damage check sort of things in this dungeon that I can think of. It'll just make us a little slower. I saw you take some other action, so you're... Okay, you're pressing a few buttons now. Let me keep my eyes on this warrior now. What is it that he's doing? Why does he have 0 rage? Like, shouldn't... I mean, arms warriors generate rage. It's a resource they use, but his bar is empty. Is this like a display bug on my part? Like, even auto attacks should generate some. I am confused. Oh well. Oh boy, get ready for some voice acting. Right, yeah, there are some mechanics here that need to be paid attention to. Hide behind boulder to drop stacks. Yeah, okay, so he has permafrost. It's honestly kind of ignorable on normal, but on heroic it's much, much more threatening. So every time he is within, yes, shut up, Garfrost. You're really bad at this. So 7, 8, 9 permafrost, 10 permafrost. Each application of that on me makes me take a little bit more damage over time. He's going to decide at some point, choose a target and throw a boulder at that person. Yeah, at me. I am the boulder target. I want to get away from people, but people are everywhere, so I can't. Where'd that boulder go? Where'd that boulder go? There's no boulder. Oh, there it is! Okay, so it was at that location. So now I can get out of his line of sight and make his permafrost fall off. Because it has a very short duration, but it keeps getting renewed. That is, however, a magic effect. I think he might have killed somebody's pet. What is this writing? So yeah, that's the sort of thing he says if he kills somebody, but nobody in the party died. Anyway, yeah, so people hiding behind boulders so the thing falls off. Again, it's probably ignorable on normal. It is a magic effect, so therefore I can dispel it as a healer, but my dispel spell has a cooldown on it, so if I used it every single time it was up, yeah, that hunter got hit by that boulder. That's fine. If I rotated through my party and used Dispel every time its cooldown was, every time it was cooled down, I don't know, people would probably get to like 12 or 13 applications of permafrost or so. I don't know. It'd probably keep people alive, but it would keep me busy and be kind of distracting and cost a bunch of mana and stuff.
Another shall take his place. You waste your time.
Hey, check it. That's a nice weapon upgrade. Cool. Yay, get some real good equipment in here. Oh hey, quest turn-in point. Why am I just standing here? Oh, I'm drinking. Got it. This is a dungeon where you can mount. It is outdoors.
May your blades never dull.
So not actually a whole lot of bosses in here. It's the stuff in between the bosses. It's, well, the bosses themselves are pretty interesting too. This is quite a dungeon. It is the scary one to get in Wrath of the Lich King Time Walking. It's kind of uneven, like some parts of it aren't too big a deal. Garfrost's not bad if you don't completely ignore his mechanics. So Time Walking is based on the heroic version, so you can't ignore the permafrost there.
We're about to mount an assault on the Scourge Lord's location.
Alright. Who's we? Are these the slaves? I think so. Alright, so Ick and Crick coming up next. I don't remember nearly as clearly what they do compared to the other bosses in here. They have a few things to pay attention to, though. All these activities going on the left in a part of the dungeon you don't ever interact with. I guess that is the pit of Saron in here. And we're just up along the lip of it. Some kind of mining operation or something. Alright, so those big gross dudes carrying the stuff, they make that happen on the ground. Don't stand in that. Green is bad. Green is on me. Don't stand in that. That icon stays on me for a lot longer than you'd think it would after I move out of the stuff. It's sometimes hard to tell whether I'm in it or not just because of the delay on having the debuff fall off. There it goes. Visuals are a little blurry, so you know what counts as inside, what counts as outside. With the delay, not the clearest thing. Just giving up on melee attacks, I guess. Hey, check it out, Revered with Silvermoon City. That's probably the last of the classic reputations I needed to get when I'm almost done with 2 more expansions of dungeons. It takes a bit if you want Revered with everybody. Or Exalted if you're after more than just the satchel. 16 slot bags still may be relevant for my bank at this point, but I have better in my well, no I don't. All those bags down there I see are 16 slot, I think. Bag space, not so easy to come by. That's a giant foot you're dragging around. Gross. Everything is gross in here. Ugh. I do not like the aesthetics of these dungeons. It's just really unpleasant. Mechanics are cool, though. Don't know what Blight Bomb is. Just kill them before the cast goes off. Alright, so, Ick and Crick. Not yet. Gotta get rid of those. Right, there's a lot of movement on this fight. We need to have the area clear so there's space to run around. Because we have reasons to run around. The green floor is going to be a thing as well as some other stuff. Okay, so they just pick a party member and make the floor under them turn green. I see. Okay, so Crick is the little gnome riding Ick, the, whatever that thing is. Explosive mines. Okay, so everybody gets explosions coming from their feet, so just, like, move around a bit. Don't be where you were standing a moment ago. One person's not bothering to move. Okay, yeah, so, go away from him. Yeah, okay. This warrior doesn't seem to know how to play his character. Hasn't really moved out of anything. And he paid the price.
Arms and legs are in short supply. Thanks for your contribution. I've changed my mind. Go get that one.
Alright, so here's a fixate. He's gonna decide he doesn't like somebody and go after them. Oh hey, druids used used rebirth on the warrior to get him back. The resurrection spell that can be cast in combat. Anyway, yeah, so for the fixate, just run away from him. He's slow, don't let him get to you, or else he'll hit you really hard. Pretty simple. Easy enough to just figure out during the fight. These druids brought some tree friends. Alright, so balanced druid here, making themselves a pretty valuable player. Using all their buttons.
Please, I'll tell you everything.
Why should the Banshee Queen spare your miserable life?
Oh good, Sylvanas gets to talk.
What you seek is in the Master's lair, but you must destroy Tyrannus to gain entry. Now, within the halls of reflection, you will find Frostmourne. It holds the truth.
Frostmourne? The Lich King is never without his blade. If you are lying to me...
I swear it's true! Please don't kill me!
It's not necessary to stand here and listen to this, but we're doing it anyway.
Worthless gnat. Death is all that awaits you.
We get the full experience.
No!
So Scourgelord Tyrannus decides to kill his minion here, because it's given away the Lich King's secrets.
Do not think that I shall permit you entry into my master's sanctum so easily.
A fitting end for a traitor. Come, we must free the slaves and see what is within the Lich King's chamber for ourselves.
Once again, Sylvanas, what is this? A fitting end for a traitor. Oh, how dare he tell us what we asked him to tell us. Oh, he totally got what he deserved. Ah. Anyway, so here comes the scary part of this dungeon. Three of the scary parts of this dungeon. There's a lot of them. Yeah, that's the route we're going. So up this hill, you gotta prioritize your kills. Flame Bearer, yeah, those are the scary ones. So left Flame Bearer first. I'm planning on using Paralysis. Has a 30-yard range, a little less than like a Fireball spell or something. They have the kills marked though, so not calling for crowd control. So I'm just gonna stay on healing. Off the top of my head, I'm actually not sure what it is that makes the Flame Bearers so deadly. I see that Hellfire happening. Maybe that's it? Yeah, that does look pretty bad. But not that bad. Like, I can just... Ooh, yeah, okay. So, alright, so he laid on hands, I think. No, something else happened. Maybe got a really good critical on Light of the Protector, because I didn't see Forbearance go up. But his health did refill itself, so that's nice. Just a thing paladins are able to do sometimes. Alright, that went fine. Let's try another one. Wrathbringer, Flamebearer, and Deathbringer. Ouch! I took a hit. Yeah, taking a lot of hits. Okay. I think we started combat there a bit earlier than we planned to. This was a bit less coordinated than the last pack. So there's apparently a skip you can do if, as soon as Ick dies, you mount up and run all the way up this hill, everybody at once. You can get here before these enemies distribute themselves. It takes some coordination though, and if you mess it up, you're definitely going to die. So that's one of those skips that I just don't really like to do. So I guess stuns and interrupts would be real good for Hellfire. So if you have those, use them, if you know what to do. We have 2 ranged party members, and me, who's apparently staying at range right now, so it's not as much of an issue as it could be if everybody was in melee. And or this was on heroic. Still, I did use my entire mana bar there.
Persistent whelps. You will not reach the entrance of my lord's lair. Soldiers, destroy them.
Alright, so things get a little worse here. Similar groups, but more of them. Attentive Tank is watching my mana bar, so that's great. Doing everything he can to get this done. This goes a lot quicker in time walking when everybody is at max level and, well, most of them are, and pretty polished on what needs to be done here, and, you know, just kind of get in and do it. A lot less hesitation there. But this is the actual appropriate level for this. Doing it the old-fashioned way. We're making this look easy. I guess, well, yeah, partially just, this is on normal. Everybody here is playing pretty careful, it seems. Alright, so who's in this group? I can't read the names from all the way over here. 3 skeletons, 2 somethings. Cold Bearer. Oh, yeah, okay, so those dudes put like a little frost rune in the ground, and if you step in it, you get a lot of damage and frozen for a while. It's possible they only do it in heroic. I'm not sure. Cold Wraith, that's what it says. Freezing Circle, that's what it's called. Okay, yeah, so he didn't get that cast off before he died. Yeah, Freezing Circle is the real killer there. Probably won't get to see it here, yeah, because everybody's playing so carefully. That mechanic just won't come into play. Still some heavy hits. Hey, Warrior found his Bladestorm button. That's nice. Okay, yeah, that didn't look so bad. Alright, so now this event. So there are a few different ways to handle this. So this tunnel. Bunch of boulders gonna fall from the ceiling. Those do significant damage. There are dudes to pick up the whole time. Often what I find happens here is I'll see a tank try to run in really fast like that. And if I cast any healing spells on them, all those skeletons go on me. If I don't, then the tank just dies like that. So it's tricky to balance. So everybody dies, have to run back. Skip the run back because it was a bit long. Run in mounts, yeah, but I think we're too weak. Need to down people before moving. Yeah, so the way to actually do this, sort of the safe way, if you're confident in your, you know, don't stand in the big rune circle on the ground that shows where ice is going to fall skills, you know, it's not really particularly hard to dodge. Oh man, I can see the animation on those things reversing. The ice goes back up to the ceiling, visibly. That's just silly. Anyway, yeah, so one thing at a time, don't go too fast through here, is really the safe way to do this. Because if you try to just rush it and go through the entire tunnel all at once, the tank or the healer is going to die. Probably both. I have a memory. This tunnel here, way back, 8 years ago, when I was playing a Discipline Priest on the Alliance, this was one of the only times I was ever actually kicked out of a dungeon. I was on this tunnel, and the tank tried to do the run through and, the thing I just described, where either they're gonna die or the healer's gonna die. I think I ended up the first time with all the monsters on me because I cast a healing spell because he needed it or he was gonna die. Then I died, then he died, entire party wiped, we ran back. Tried it again, mostly the same thing happened. Tank decided to leave the group, so we sat down and got a new one queued up. This thing on the ground is where people usually stop in the middle to make sure everybody's dead before moving on. They're continuing to respawn, though, so you can't, deplete the whole thing before moving on here. This might be a semi-safe spot from falling ice. I don't see any falling, right in the center of that. Anyway, yeah, so we got a new tank in the Dungeon Finder. He comes in and, sees a bunch of corpses on the ground short of the tunnel. Is like, what was going on here? And I don't know, I said something like, well, it was kind of a big mess. Then the very next thing that happens, he runs in, we start doing the thing. I accidentally get ice bouldered, and I actually die from that time. And the guy there says, oh, I'm beginning to understand, and next thing I know I'm out of the dungeon. So everybody in there apparently decided I was the problem. Which, yeah, I made a mistake the third time. I don't know. It was weird. I wasn't too annoyed at that one, because the group wasn't super great. But yeah, that was one of the only times I can remember actually getting kicked from a dungeon. Has not happened this time around yet. I imagine it will someday. I see a lot of people just taking issue with other group members for no good reason. And it's only a matter of time before I'm the target of one of those things. Whether I do something to deserve it or not, in my mind, I don't know. It's not hard to do that, to be deserving in someone else's mind of a kick. So I don't sweat it, If I get removed from the group, then that was probably not a group I wanted to be in anyway. They didn't want to play with me, and that's perfectly fair. Anyway, so we're through the tunnel. No problem at all, taking it nice and slow. That is fine. Alright. Oh, it's the warrior who's talking. Okay, huh. Alright then. So yeah, let's check mechanics here. Overlord's Brand, that is the main one to watch for every member of the party. Apparently there's some super nasty tank killers here. Tank has extra things to think about for this, but the one that every party member needs to watch for is Overlord's Brand. So he can decide to give you this thing. Scourge Tyrannus brands a player with something. Trying to figure out how to put that in chat, just in case anybody doesn't know. It's very important. Brands a player with something, causing all damage done by... I'm not giving my future self a time to... He's decided to be talky.
That's the sound of your impending demise.
Heroes, we will hold off the undead as long as we can, even to our dying breath. Deal with the Scourge Lord.
So the remains of the Horde army who came with us fights the thing behind us, so we can just have a boss fight here.
From the rabble. When I have finished with you, my master's blade will feast upon your souls. Die.
The delivery of that. Anyway, yeah, so Overlord's Brand. If it is on me... Okay, so a cast went off. Who got it? I didn't see. Whoever it's on needs to stop doing anything, basically. if you're damaging Tyrannus, your damage gets amplified and redirected to his target. So every attack you do... Okay, I have Overlord's Brand. Stop doing things. I see that green stuff coming from me. If I heal... Oh, I'm still healing. Okay, I didn't watch closely enough. Alright, so I just healed him. My healing spells get redirected to him if I'm the healer. Damage dealer's damage gets redirected to his target if you're dealing damage. So, you're going to kill the tank if you keep attacking, and you're going to heal the boss if you keep healing. If Rhymefang, as dragon, looks at me, then I just need to move away from everybody else. I'm going to get frozen. There's nothing I can do. I have Overlord's Brand on me. I'm giving him so much healing. So I'm the one who says, pay attention to it. But I wasn't ready to pay attention to it. It's not the most obvious thing when it's on you. Like, it's this little debuff thing. There's kind of a little symbol over top of your head. Okay, yeah, so that... What is obvious is, like, the red or green lightning that comes out of you toward whoever's being affected with the whatever. Warrior's trying to strategize. Or something. I don't think this warrior knows what's going on, though. Wow, okay, yeah, that was 2/3 of his health hit in one. Okay. Oh yeah, those patches of ice do something. I think they actually affect Tyrannus's movement, so you can move him through them if you need to be running away from him. Oh, I stood too close to everybody when Rhymefang was targeting me. Or maybe somebody else did. Yeah, okay. That was not a very good performance on my part, but we got it done anyway. Yeah, there's a lot going on during that fight.
We owe you our lives, our freedom. Though it be a tiny gesture in the face of this enormous debt, I pledge that from this day forth, all will know of your deeds.
Somebody has a long speech, but that turns out to be a mistake.
You cut through the shadow of this dark citadel. This day will stand as a testament not only to your valor, but to the fact that no foe, not even the Lich King himself, can stand.
Take cover! Behind me, quickly!
Set aside their differences
And Rhymefang kills everybody. They stood there and talked for too long. That guy survived somehow. What?
I thought he'd never shut up. At last, Sindragosa silenced that long-winded...
Oh, that was Sindragosa?
To the halls of reflection, champion.
Oh, Sylvanas,
Our
what?
objective is near. I can sense it.
I thought he'd never shut up. I'm glad he died. Wow. This character. Anyway, that was Pit of Saron. Slightly ruined by Sylvanas' presence. Alright, yeah, that wasn't a pretty performance, but that's what it looks like. Okay, see you next time for Halls of Reflection. Should be fun.